Happy Mock Draft Monday as we're almost through week 3 of the NFL. So let's do a mock draft. We're using the current draft order, though that doesn't really mean much at this standpoint. But this is really just to highlight different possibilities and prospects. And specifically this draft, I want to go over some of the prospects that have really impressed me thus far this season. Special thanks to our friends over at Ethos. More on them a little bit later, but the New York Jets, first overall, Justin Fields, the experiment, it went awry. So do we take a swing at a quarterback? Is there a quarterback worth the first overall pick? I would argue there is one with phenomenal tools, great wheels, rocket for an arm. Does he need a little polish? Absolutely, but I thought he looked the best he has this past weekend than he has all year, and that's Lenora Sellers. He looked good against Missouri, even in a loss. I don't think you just run him right out there, but I think he gives you possibilities. So if you were gonna ask me today, gun to my head, what quarterback's going first overall, I would probably say Lenora Sellers. That's just kind of where I would be at. New Orleans Saints, and we always go quarterback for the Saints. Let's switch it up. Let's say maybe we saw a little bit of promise from Tyler Shuck. Sure, we're picking second overall, but maybe it wasn't on him. Maybe we want to give it another year, and we want to take a look at other positions that we can maybe improve. So I want to use this pick to still take a position of value. So we're talking, if we're not doing quarterback, we're talking tackle. I mean, they just recently spent 2 first rounders on tackles, so that's kind of out of the question. Wide receiver, maybe. Corner, potentially. I kind of landed on edge, man. Ruben Bain's been an utter monster, and they could definitely use some pass rush. Tennessee Titans. Oh, buddy. I love having Ruben Bain available for me at this pick. I think you could think of Caleb Downs here at 3 for the Titans, but they just drafted Kevin Winston, who I'm a big fan of. They extended Amani Hooker. So maybe we just deal with the pass rush because I think this is a pretty darn good edge class. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with pass rush. And we're going to end up taking the freak himself, Keldrick Folk, out of Auburn. Built beautifully. He's improved the pass rush win rate this year. Is it where you want it to be? To be maybe a top 5, top 10 pick? Maybe not necessarily, but you're going to bet on the tools, and at the bare minimum, you're getting probably the best run defendant edge player in this class. My Miami Dolphins, fins up, baby, fins up. We should be running it in quarterback, right? But I don't know if I believe in a quarterback in this class. I know I took 1 first overall, but I kind of felt like I had to. I don't know if I believe in a quarterback here. If I'm the Dolphins and I'm kind of out on Tua, you can't really get off of Tua until after next season, which, okay, we don't have to rush it. We don't have to take a quarterback here. We don't have to tie our horses to a new wagon. How about we just improve the environment? I've been taking wide receiver. I took wide receiver at least last week for the Dolphins. This week, we're going to focus on the offensive line. We're going to look to that right tackle position. I think they could get off of Austin Jackson's contract if they want to. You don't necessarily have to, but nonetheless, I'm going to go with Francis Mauigoa. He's my top tackle in this class. He's been phenomenal for the Hurricanes. When you lose someone close to you, it really makes you start to think about the future. I lost my grandmothers in quick succession. My mother had a health scare earlier this year, and it made me wonder about my own mortality and would my family be financially prepared if anything were to happen to me. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 3. We own our own house. And the last thing I want my family worrying about is paying the bills, paying the mortgage. And with life insurance from Ethos, your family is protected. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance easy and fast to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There's no complicated process. It's 100% online. No medical exam required. Just answer a few medical questions and you get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. You can get same-day coverage without leaving your house. Life insurance is more affordable than you think. And with Ethos, they get you a free quote and a customized rate to fit your budget. Ethos is a trustworthy company that has disrupted the traditional life insurance industry as of March this year. Business Insider named Ethos the #1 non-medical exam instant life insurance provider. 3 million families have already completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help them find the right coverage. And Ethos has a 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. Protect your family today with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/broshmo. That's ethos.com/broshmo. Application times may vary, rates may vary. Pick 5, New York Giants. We're not doing anything different here. It just makes too much sense. If you're picking in the top 10, there's good offensive tackle talent available to you. You got to need a right tackle. We're just going to go ahead, take the offensive line talent, and I'm going to go with Spencer Fano. Had a very, very interesting matchup against the duo from Texas Tech there, David Bailey and Romello Heights. I thought he did pretty solid in pass protection. Kind of the one hiccup, kind of a big hiccup. It cost Utah a score was you had Dampier rolling out on a bootleg. Could have been kind of a pass run option, but he got too far downfield, caused the touchdown to come back. Kind of a wolf, but he's just, it moves exceptionally well. Houston Texans, if you're picking in the top 10, the offensive line just continued to be terrible. All those parts you've invested in the offensive line just haven't quite hit yet. So maybe that means moving Titus Howard inside the guard, or Ariante Ursery inside the guard, Blake Fisher inside the guard. I don't know, but we're gonna keep swinging on the offensive line because it's that important. I'm gonna go with my boy Trevor Gooseby out of Texas. He's been pretty phenomenal this year, and I thought he's kind of proved me kind of right early on into this season. New England Patriots. Listen, it's Mike Vrabel. We're just going to take the best player on the board. I think that just makes the most sense to me. We're going to take Caleb Downs. The Caleb Downs slide ends here. Mike Vrabel was like, listen, we drafted a lot of offense this past season, or this past off season. It's my turn now. Which kind of sucks now for Las Vegas Raiders. I would have loved to gone Caleb Downs. It is what it is. I do think going with the secondary is pretty squishy. Going with the secondary player just makes sense. So maybe taking a swing on whoever the top corner prospect is in here. I'm going to keep shouting his name out, man. I think Damani Jackson's been utterly phenomenal for Alabama thus far this year. I think it's all clicking for him. He checks a lot of the boxes when it comes to size, length, speed, athleticism for the position. He's been shut down thus far. We'll see him against Georgia this week. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Denver Broncos here at pick 9. I get to do something a little interesting because if you look at them, at least on paper, they're a pretty complete team. You had J.K. Dobbins coming out after the game. Hey, us playmakers, we need to do a better job for Bo Nix. Now, that's not completely on the playmakers. Bo's not been great this year thus far. But I don't think there's anything wrong with grabbing more playmakers. Jordan Tyson, my top wide receiver, still available here. I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson to Denver. I actually like that quite a bit. Dallas Cowboys, this is their first pick. As we'll get to their second pick later on with Green Bay's pick. I think you just take the best player on the board. I know Peter Woods has kind of had an underwhelming year thus far. I still believe in at least the tools, the athleticism. He's an insane athlete. I don't think he's been the problem on that defensive line. And it's not even that they've been bad. It's just you expected more. They've really just been more disappointed. But I'm gonna bet on the tools of Peter Woods. And really, I think they have Kenny Clark maybe just for the year. I think he's essentially a one-year rental, a throw-in that Micah Parsons trade. And even if he isn't, shoot, you get a good rotation there on the defensive interior. Cleveland Browns, you would think I might go quarterback, but you know what? Maybe they're feeling okay. Maybe they want to see what they have in Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. So we're not going to go quarterback here, but I'm not going to say it's off the board completely. The offensive line's kind of been a train wreck. We're going to go with some offensive line talent. We're going to grab a tackle. I mean, this early, you want to grab tackle being the more valuable position. Big game this week. Isaiah World gets to take on that crazy good Penn State defensive line. Danny Dennis Sutton. They got, oh, shucks. Who's the freshman's name? Chaz something? He's been phenomenal. That looks like a future first-round pick right there. But, hey, if Worlds has a big week this week, you should, if you're not already, seeing him consistently in first-round mocks, if not the top 20 of mocks. Carolina Panthers. I know, there's quarterbacks on the board. I think maybe we flip the switch and Bryce Young is at least good-ish again, coming off a big win against Atlanta. So let's just flip gears here. Maybe we don't love the quarterback class and we just go elsewhere. We go to address the defense. That's what I'm going to do. I think Mansour Delane would kind of be nuts in this defense. I think he would be downright disgusting. Whether he's in the slot, playing outside, gives you some versatility, gives you some great depth, which, hey, I mean, JC Horn, good corner when healthy. So we're going to grab Delane here. Chiefs, I think corner makes sense. Come on. I mean, they got like 3 corners that are going to hit free agency. I know they drafted Noel Williams in the 3rd last year, but I don't think that stops me from taking a shot. Jermon McCoy, I think it's just we're waiting for him to come back healthy. He tore his ACL back in January, so for some people, he's just not on the mind. He's out of sight, out of mind. For me, distance only makes the heart fonder. I miss you. Can't wait for you to come back. I think he's a hell of a good player, especially if he comes back and just rinse and repeats what he did last year. Chicago Bears. I apologize, Bears fans. I'm going to do the lazy thing here. I'm going to take Jeremiah Love. It makes the most sense. I want to explore with other potential landing spots for Jeremiah Love. But at this point, at this juncture, you know, like DeAndre Swift, like, come on, great athlete, terrible vision. Let's just get someone who's built like a freak, and that's a wonderful athlete with really good vision. I'm sure Ben Johnson would love it. And now we're here with the Los Angeles Rams. So this is Atlanta's pick, and then we'll be picking again at 18. I think you go the quarterback here if you want to come out of this with a quarterback. If you got concerns with how much longer does Stafford have. Not to say like teams like the Lions or Washington would take a quarterback off the board before me, but I mean, you never know who might trade up. So we're going to go ahead and take who I think probably fits the system the best. because I would say the next quarterbacks on my list would be Garrett Nussmeier, John Mateer, Fernando Mendoza. Again, these aren't specifically like my rankings. These are guys who have that I've just really liked this year, and I want to show some love to. Drew Aller, I need to see him against Oregon. I need it so bad. It's not like he's been killing the world against cupcake competition either. I need him to go out and perform in big moments. I need him to. I'm going to go with Fernando Mendoza, man. He's built well. I think he's perfect for Cignetti's defense in Indiana. And McVay is like, yeah, man, you just come sit behind Stafford. We'll get you all ready and prepared. I don't know. I don't think I'll have Mendoza as a first round, or at least not a top 20 guy when I redo my rankings. But I'm saying that now. Maybe I have a change of heart. I don't know. We'll see. Fascinating. Detroit Lions. Come on. They need pass rush. They need some pass rush. I'm going to get them some pass rush. More people need to show love to my boy LT Overton. They think, oh, he's like a fringe first rounder. I think he's a top 20 player. He's a freak. And he's currently getting it done, has an over 20% pass rush win rate just off of his tools. Polish that up, and then watch out. I don't want Overton one side, Aiden Hutchinson the other. That just terrifies me. And then Overton, he's got the flexibility, at least with his body, to be able to kick inside on passing downs. You want to really get after the quarterback? Let's go. Washington Commanders. So I typically go edge for them. I wanted to maybe do something outside the box. And I know I've been saying, to me, it's really a one-horse race when it comes to wide receiver one in this class. That doesn't mean I don't think other wide receivers won't go in the first round. I don't think teams necessarily will be just looking to 2027's amazing wide receiver class and just be like, yeah, we won't go wide receiver in the first round. I don't think that'll be the case. I think we're going to see one, if not two or three more wide receivers go in the first. I think that next guy for me is Mekhi Lemon, who would be a good addition because he brings something pretty different than what they currently have. I mean, sure, you could be like, well, he's got some, his after the catch ability is real Debo-esque, but Debo ain't running like Lemon. To be fair, Debo also absorbs a little. Debo's thicker, so he's going to absorb hits a little bit better. But Lemon, I think he gives this wide receiver group just something different, something that they're currently missing. And then the Rams, I already took Fernando Mendoza. I really want to come away with a corner. And I don't know why this cat's not getting love. Most people just see him as a day two and then call it a day. I think he's been one of the best corners in college football this year. And that's going to be Keith Abney out of Arizona State. I think he's been shut down. He's been phenomenal. And we should be talking more about him as a potential first rounder. Baltimore Ravens, we're going back to edge. This team could use some pass rush. Maybe Mike Green eventually develops. Again, he's a rookie. But Odafe Oweh, we kind of know what he is. He's I don't even want to say he's the Robin to someone's Batman. I don't know. Like, take your worst version of Robin. That could be Jason Todd. That could be Tim Drake. We know it ain't Dick Grayson. And he's that. So even that, I think he might be just better as a rotation player. So I like the idea of going with Cassius Howe because he's versatile. He can play in coverage. He's just that good of an athlete, twitched up. I like the addition there. I really do. Okay, so I kind of fibbed a little bit. Cleveland, I think I'm going quarterback here. I just don't. You can't pass it up at 20, right? Let's take a shot. And one of the most fun guys in college football right now, it's John Mateer. Easy John Mateer. He's thick. He can he literally probably he's a combination of Baker Mayfield's arm velocity. I don't think he's nearly as accurate as Mayfield, but he also brings Kyler Murray-esque mobility and movement skills, just thicker. So we're going to go with him a tier. Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, he'll be done after 1 year. Let's go ahead, get that gunslinger of the future. And there is a gunslinger in this class. Garrett Nussmeier, apparently he's been playing banged up thus far this year, and all he's done is stepped up when they needed him to in big moments. Granted, a little less so in that Florida game. That was more on the defense or more on DJ Lagway throwing interceptions. But that Clemson game, man, he had some nice dimes. And you could argue he might have had some of the best throws on the intermediate to deep portions of the field this season. And I get why people don't love Garrett Nussmeier. He doesn't exactly have tools that just like make you go goo goo gaga. But he's got it. I think he's got an NFL arm. I think he's got a good arm. I like the mentality. He looks real composed. The LSU, they trust him to get to the line, set everything up. He's not necessarily predetermining his reads, and when he does, he gets it out quick, but he also does a good job of reading the coverage pre-snap. Now, when things get hairy, we do get the occasional turnover-worthy throw, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe you work that out of him. Minnesota Vikings. Vikings coming off a really big one against Cincinnati. I think I'm going to go safety. I don't think Dylan Thiemann gets enough love in here. I've been on the record saying I think he's a lot closer to Caleb Downs than he is to the next safety in this class. He's just good. He's got ball skills like that, and the Vikings love guys with ball skills. All right, we got the Arizona Cardinals. This is just kind of a prime linebacker spot. This is where I like to see the first linebacker come off the board because it's a very good class. I think we might see at least two go in the first round, and I think the first one could come off the board probably somewhere outside the top 20, very early after pick 20. So I'm going to have it here. I'm going to go with the hotness, Arvell Reese. Out of Ohio State, dude is just everywhere. I love how he gets after the passer. Big motor, good size. Seattle Seahawks. I just don't trust the pass rush consistently. Some people would argue, well, they could use a nose tackle and then you could kick Byron Murphy. It's more of a 3-tech. They got Leonard Williams there as well. But it's like, I think I want to get more consistency from the edge. Players like Boye Mafe, when healthy, is pretty darn solid. But outside of that, it's just kind of a mixed bag of guys. So I'm going to go with, I believe I mentioned him earlier in this video talking about Spencer Fano. But David Bailey. I think he's always been a physical player. But I think he's now playing with, I don't know. He just feels like he's a little more thicker and he's able to sustain. Maybe there's more play strength there. Because the question of him, like, does he have that dog in him, was never really a question. It was, could he hold up? Because you could want it, and you could want it bad. Sometimes tools matter in the NFL. So I think he's put on good play strength. He's probably going to have not ideal length, but he makes up for it by being a speed demon. Cincinnati Bengals is an easy spot to go edge. We've seen a lot of edge players come off the board, so I'm going to go elsewhere for the Bengals. I want to highlight someone who's got a big matchup coming up this weekend. Someone that was my center one entering the year and probably still is going to be, but Connor Lew's giving him a run for his money. It's Apani Lalulu, also known as Poncho, out of Oregon. He could play guard or he could play center. Given Joe Burrow's injury history, you want to be able to protect him. So this is Dallas's second pick. This is via the Micah Parsons trade. We took Peter Woods, and I'm just kind of at a point where it's like, you know what? Who's a top player that I have on the board? Well, I look at this linebacker position. I know they're eventually going to get DeMarvion Overshown back, but Sanborn hasn't played well. Murray's really should just be a depth guy at best. So I'm going to go with Whit Weeks because Overshown can fly all over the place, but I want someone who just plays, who's a heat-seeking missile, plays with that dog in him. He's just got that nasty mentality, wants to, enjoys, relishes the contact, the physicality, just being able to hit somebody. There's a lot I like about Whit Weeks, man. There's just a lot. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not going to go too outside of the box. I've already seen 2 linebackers go off the board, so I think I want to get in on this linebacker party. I'm going to go with Sonny Styles out of Ohio State, former safety, playing linebacker full-time. Now he moves exceptionally well. I think he's probably one of the better coverage players in this class from the linebacker position. So, yeah, I like it. Indianapolis Colts. For me, it's always pass rush. I think they got 5 sacks today. I think that was more on Tennessee's offensive line and Cam Ward. But outside of Liatu Latu, I really have no desire to really believe in their other edges or see them more as just depth options. So Dennis Sutton has been having a good year. It was between him and Mateo Uiagalelei. Both are going to be not playing. Well, they're going to be playing not against each other. They're on the same side of the football, but their teams are going to be facing off this weekend. So, and I mean, both those teams have good offensive lines. Let's see who can outdo the other. But I think Dennis Sutton would be a solid player for Coach Lou's system. He could kick inside and out just because he's got really good play strength. He can really overcome with power. He might not have like the biggest pass rush arsenal, but he's got like 3 or 4 moves that he really knows how to combo up with, basically just hit with hand counters or secondary moves. It's just kind of like he's got a tree and it branches off into all these different things that he could do with it. That's just kind of his pass rush toolbox, and I don't mind it. I kind of like it. So, and having that with someone who does have a very deep bag of pass rush moves in Liatu Latu, I like the pair in there. I really just do. Buffalo Bills. I'm going to do something different. I've been doing linebacker the last few weeks just because it's kind of easy. It makes sense. I was talking on the stream this past weekend, which, hey, we're going to be streaming college football games Saturday. We're having watch parties. Join us for that big weekend of college football. But we were talking about what do the Bills, a lot of people like to maybe mock or project the Bills getting a wide receiver. So what type of wide receiver do they need? Because they're a team that likes having variety. They like the spice of life, which is variety. Well, for them, I look at that wide receiver room and I'm like, okay, you want kind of a vertical speedster then. Just someone who just flat out flies. And right now, again, he had a good week 1 of college football. Hasn't really been able to build upon that. And to be fair, he's had some plays called back because of penalties, not by him. But just wasn't really a big factor in this past weekend against Mizzou. But it's Nick Harbor. I think there's probably a good chance Harbor ends up returning to school. But when you're built like that and you're that fast, someone's going to take a shot on you, if not day 1, early to mid day 2. I just truly believe that. I really do think a big part of me, though, sees Harbor potentially returning. And you could also make a case for Lenore Sellers returning, really. And then we got the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to do the boring thing. Offensive line makes the most sense. Trent Williams. Father Time might have finally caught up to him, but even if he does play maybe another year or so, I think Caleb Tiernan, whether he ends up being a guard or a tackle at the next level, is going to be a hell of a good player. He played exceptionally well against Oregon, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that. So much so, Mateo Ungalale, I know I butchered it, but he had to line up opposite of him to really get any traction or any pressure on the quarterback. So don't sleep on him, man. He's a good prospect. He might not end up being a first rounder, but I think he's kind of a surefire top 50 player. Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to the offensive line. We're going there because I've done edge a ton for, I think at least I've done edge the last couple of weeks for the Chargers. So let's do offensive line. Where they got him. Here we go. I think I think Vega, I believe it's Iwane. I have to go back and look at the pronunciation. But Vega here is very underrated. He's just a big Samoan that beats the crap out of people. And he's good at it. Very good at it. I don't know why people are so low on him. I think he was my guard 1 in this class entering the year. And to be fair, we're very early into the season, but not a lot has changed with that. Still is. And then with the final pick in this mock draft, Eagles fans want it, so I'm going to give it to them. Dallas Goedert, Father Time. I've said it multiple times in this video. Comes for us all. Kenyon Sadiq, he's the best tight end in this class. Easy. But there it is. There's the mock draft. Really, I just kind of want to highlight a lot of players that I just really like this year, or a lot of players that I think have been playing exceptionally well. So let me know who are some of your favorite prospects in this draft class currently. Who's played well? Who has impressed you to start the college football season? Because now we're getting into conference play and things are going to get a lot crazier. We're going to get some big matchups, especially with some of these prospects taking on one another, whether it's wide receiver, corner, tackle, edge, guard, center, interior. It's about to be a legit showdown. So I'm here for it. Again, special thanks to our friends over at Ethos. Thank you for sponsoring today's video. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.